Just breathe. As you breathe, begin to feel the loving embrace, safety, and compassion of God. Just breathe and allow yourself to be embraced by the loving compassion of God. Just breathe. Consciously and actively invite and invoke the loving compassion of God. Just breathe. And if you choose, work with the thought form. I open to receive. I open to experience the loving compassion of God. Just breathe. And work with the thought form. I open to receive and I open to experience the loving compassion of God. And experience yourself filling your energy field with the loving compassion of God. So we would work with you more deeply on this. Just breathe, focusing on your crown chakra. Just breathe, focusing on your crown chakra. And work with the idea and feel and experience this idea flowing into your crown chakra. I receive right now the loving compassion of God and feel this energetic vibration flowing to and through your crown chakra. And feel the energy, this energetic vibration filling, inundating, expanding your crown chakra with its vibration. And it flows down to your third eye, and your third eye opens and receives the loving compassion of God. I receive right now the loving compassion of God. And breathe this in. And allow yourself to sense and see your life embraced and filled with the loving compassion of God. And flow this down to your throat chakra. I open to receive the loving compassion of God. And this energy fills your throat and flows down to your heart, and you feel your heart center expanding as the energy of loving compassion is poured into your heart. I open to receive the loving compassion of God, and it flows into your heart, expanding your heart in loving compassion, and down through your solar plexus, your emotional center. I open to feel the loving compassion of God. I open to feel the loving compassion of God. I open to feel the loving compassion of God. I open to feel the loving compassion of God. I open to feel the loving compassion of God. I open to feel the loving compassion of God. I open to feel the loving compassion of God. I open to feel the loving compassion of God. I open to feel the loving compassion of God. I open to feel, to receive, to experience, and to allow myself to be the loving compassion of God. And breathe this in. And pull this energy down into your sacral center. The sacral chakra located near the reproductive area. I am healed by the loving compassion of God. I am healed by the loving compassion of God. I am healed by the loving compassion of God. And breathe this in. I am healed by the loving compassion of God. I am healed by the loving compassion of God. I am healed by the loving compassion of God. I am healed by the loving compassion of God. I am healed by the loving compassion of God. And breathe this down into the root. The loving compassion of God causes me to allow myself all the good I deserve and desire. The loving compassion of God allow this idea, this energy, this frequency, this vibration to center in your root at the base of your spine. The loving compassion of God that I now receive causes me to be in forgiveness with myself. The loving compassion of God that I receive right now causes me to be in forgiveness with myself. The loving compassion of God that I receive right now, the loving compassion of God that I am right now, causes me to be in forgiveness with myself. Just breathe this in And as you have filled all your energy centers with an aspect of the loving compassion of God, feel and experience this loving compassion expanding in your energy field. The loving compassion of God expands through each of your Shakti and expands within your energy field. The loving compassion of God expands its presence in your energy field. And feel yourself immersed in an energetic bubble of loving compassion. Feel yourself immersed in an energetic bubble of loving compassion. Feel yourself being immersed in an energetic bubble of loving compassion. And I am God's loving compassion made manifest. You may work with this as you choose, for all of your energy field is so filled with this truth that this truth becomes you. I am God's loving compassion made manifest. I am God's loving compassion made manifest. Breathe in this truth, for this is an important aspect of who you are. I am God's loving compassion made manifest. I will not judge myself, others, or the world, for I am God's loving compassion made manifest. Just breathe this in. And in this state of oneness with such a profound aspect of God, you are in alignment with all that God is. I am in alignment with all that God is, for I am in alignment with God's loving compassion. Breathe this in. I am in alignment with all that God is, for I am in alignment with God's loving compassion. And feel it flowing through you, for you are a channel for this loving compassion. So, in this state, you can then ask, show me a representative part of me that yearned for loving compassion. You can have the thought and the desire. Show me a representative part of me that deserves and desires God's loving compassion, and the channel related to you an incident years ago where he missed a wedding that he was to facilitate, and the guilt and shame of it. That is the aspect of him that is representative of guilt and shame, carried unconsciously. You have an aspect of yourself that is representative of any guilt and shame that you have carried, that you are ready to transform. There is a special light on the earth, specifically designed to support you and the earth by default, to support you in transforming deep guilt and shame. And this aspect of you, no matter where you are or were, no matter what the circumstances, no matter how detailed or vague your memory of it is, this is the aspect of you that, like a prism, as light shines through it, it will heal the many aspects of you that have been afflicted by guilt and shame. So once again, show me, God, the part of me that is ready to release and transform guilt and shame. Show me the part of me that is representative of any guilt and shame I have carried in this life. Now you are safe. You are safe. You are loved. You are in a circle of light. You are safe. You are loved. You are in a circle of light. And in this circle of light, see the aspect of you that symbolizes the guilt and shame that you have carried. See this aspect of you. See it objectively. See it lovingly. Allow the light to embrace this part of you. And breathe. It is time for you to do a self-treatment. The loving compassion of God I am heals this and every part of me. The loving compassion of God that I am heals this and every part of me. The loving compassion of God that I am heals this and every part of me. Breathe this in The loving compassion of God that I am heals this and every part of me. Now, the energy that comes to you is very fine, yet very effective, because the way the earth has evolved, it is now aligning with and allowing into its energy a finer, almost imperceptible, yet substantially more effective light that is substantially more effective in healing. So you have applied this light to this part of yourself, for you have aligned with the great light of God and the aspects of God necessary to heal this part of you. Now, the channel is fond of the idea of a guitar string, and when you pluck it, the vibration of that string vibrates up and down the guitar string. You have plucked a part of you that has been hidden away in your consciousness, a part of you that has housed guilt and shame. It is representative of many parts of you, all of which have been healed. Many parts of you that have held on to guilt and shame, many aspects of you that have held on to guilt and shame, many iterations of you that have held on to guilt and shame are now released. The loving compassion of God that I am releases me now from guilt and shame. The loving compassion of God that I am releases me now from guilt and shame. And allow yourself to be the loving compassion of God more deeply than ever before, that you might ground and anchor this on the earth and share it with your brethren, consciously and unconsciously. For you go forward as the loving compassion of God. And any sense of guilt or weakness or sinfulness or inadequacy or not enoughness that you have felt is and will be healed by this treatment, for it changes vibrationally the energy of guilt and shame. That this energy has been particularized, it has been made into particles in your consciousness, crystallized in your consciousness. The light gently dissolves these crystals the way sugar crystals are dissolved in hot water. Allow the light right now to do what it does, knowing that you do this for yourself and for your world. For your world is called out for compassionate, grace-filled healing. And you are the bringer of this mode. So breathe it in, reminding yourself that you matter, for you are important to God. Breathe this in. Marinate in the loving compassion of God designed to heal guilt. The loving compassion of God, designed to heal guilt. The loving compassion of God, designed to heal guilt. Just breathe this in. And we would add one final word of guidance here. The energy of guilt that has been recognized, exposed to light, transformed and excised from your energy field is not only the energy that you have held from very salient and memorable events, but it is also the subtle crystallizations of shame and guilt, the subtle memories of feeling inadequate, the subtle miseducations, and the subtle energies that you have carried, sometimes for decades. The little twinges of inadequacy or feeling wrong or different. These small crystals are just as easily removed and just as immediately removed as the larger issues that you have worked on this evening. And the light of God in the form of loving compassion will continue to work with you, work through you, work on you, and work as you. God needs you to be its lighthouse of loving compassion. Breathe this in. Good. And when you're ready, we would open this session to your questions, first on the subject matter at hand, and then on any additional questions of a more individual nature.